In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. This is another video to confirm the betrayal of the Jews. In this video, we will talk about the dimension of hell in relation to the blessing of Allah. And we will talk about how the Jews used the knowledge of dimensions not only in writing and language, but also in their other visual creations. I would like to add to the language coding that we explained in the previous video. The coding of language, that is, the arrangement of letters in a certain order, is something that is connected to the laws of creation of Allah. The prophets were the first to receive this knowledge from our Lord Allah. The family tree of the prophets begins with the sons of Adam in Arabia. The Jews could play Allah by exploiting the knowledge of the prophets. In fact, they were playing the devil, because Allah cannot be exploited. The Jews preserved their own language and knowledge for thousands of years, and they guided the other nations with the letters and words they produced. Before we get to the dimension of hell, we should know that hell is only one of the 9 dimensions. Allah's mercy is great, especially to those who believe in Him. Allah promises to lead His believing servants from the dimension of hell to the dimension of paradise. In addition, Allah promises a blessing. This is given at least by a factor of 10. You can rest assured that Allah is just and will never lie. Listen to what Allah says in His verses.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. من جاء بالحسنة فله عشر أمثالها ومن جاء بالسيئات فلا يجزى إلا مثلها وهم لا يظلمون.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Whoever comes with a good deed will receive 10 times as much. And whoever comes with an evil deed will only be repaid with the same. And no injustice should be done to them. The dimensional degree of hell is 7. We can interpret this from the Quran. Allah says in His verses,
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ لَمَوْعِدُهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ لَهَا 7 أبواب لكل باب منهم جزء مقسوم.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. And hell is the meeting place of all of them. It has 7 gates. And each gate is assigned a part of them. Also through the way the sacred numbers are written, Allah warns His servants. Look, the 7 in Arabia is written as a file pointing downwards. Not like in Latin, which the Jews have twisted to the right, to disorient their peoples with the numbers. Or this 8 of theirs which they write with 2 circles. This number should preferably not point anywhere. A non-Jew should not know its direction. The Jew wants to have the dimension of paradise for himself only. Let's take a look at what the numbers tell us when we divide them by Allah's blessing 10. Here too we can see that the 7 is crippled until the end of days. Look, we'll talk about these favorite numbers of the Jew in a moment. The Jews don't just use their knowledge of numbers and dimensions to create letters and words. They also use this knowledge to create shapes and graphics. It's always just about showing the untruth, in the appearance of truth, and perpetuating their misfortune in the name of Judaism. The Jews are in a false pride with their works. I would like to describe the preferred dimensions of the Jew, which he uses for his mischief. The Jew uses dimension 7, for his curse on all non-Jews. He thereby symbolizes his knowledge of hell and his divine authority to banish his enemies to hell. With dimension 6, the Jew symbolizes his worldly power of fire, which he also advertises in his flag. With dimension 3, the Jew symbolizes his past worldly power of water, which he used to rule in Pharaoh's time. With dimension 4, the Jew symbolizes the degree of the beast, which also reflects the coding level of his alphabet. The number 16 is one of the Jew's favorite marking numbers. This number appears fair, but it contains all the characteristics of his favorite numbers. The 16 contains his false blessing 10, his fiery 6, and the sum of the cursed 7. The 13 is also their number, with the sum of the digits 4 being used to advertise their animal. The number 12 and its sum of the digits 3 are used by the Jew to keep his enemies small. The number 1, alone, is what the Jew detests most, because Allah is one. And this truth connects us to Allah. Let's look at the creations of these Zionists. Here is a list in the order of the date of their publication. As an example, in this video I will only use official logos of the political parties in Turkey. The Jews have had themselves immortalized in almost all of these. One should, however, bear in mind, not all officials are initiated by the Jews and their Zionists. Most politicians have been assigned their logos and graphics, and they are not supposed to know anything about the possibilities of dimensioning. They only get their worldly reward and are kept in a world of lies. It is the highest ranks of the Jews who are trying to rule in the name of democracy. Their goal is not justice or order, it is only about exploiting the ignorant. True justice is the Sharia of Allah. Let's start with the party that started a war in Turkey with its 6 spears, which they direct from their dimension 6 of fire, against the rule of the heavens, from the lower left against the upper and right. The light in this party logo shines in 7 rays. Here the star of the Turkish flag was removed and the crescent moon was placed in 16 stars. The sum of 16 is 7. The color variant of this crescent moon and star is not that of the Turks. In addition, it was placed in the middle of 7 blessed 10-star stars. From this emblem we can see the curse that was coded through the degree of the letters. In other words, the rank of the letters with which they were placed in their alphabet. It uses the dimensions 4, 7, 7. These are the dimensions of nature, hell and hell. The meaning of the party name is also parallel to its design. It is called the Straight Path Party, but is a red line that curves. 7 stars, 40 shine outwards, and 40 smaller ones inwards. The cross sum is 6. Here the degree of coding was determined by the number of leaves. 7 larger leaves and 2 times 4 smaller proportions. The cross sum is a total of 6. Again 16 stars with a cross sum of 7. In addition, a beautiful clover leaf with 4 leaves. This emblem was cursed 4 times by the dimension of hell 7. The animal has 2 times 7 wing tips, 7 tail tips and 7 files. In addition, a crippled animal with 2 heads was used. These are Hadnian symbols from the time of ignorance, combined with the knowledge of their Zionists of today. Here again 7 stars. We can already guess the misfortune of this spiked emblem from the thorns. Its purple is also a mixture of red and blue, the 2 contrasting colors. We can count 16 thorns, and in the same colors, 2 times 4 other shapes. Overall, it was coded to the Jews' sum of 6. 7 longer sunbeams with 6 shorter ones, coded from the sum of 4. In this logo, the Jew had his mischief cleverly camouflaged. Here, the baby blue of the Jew was taken and the sun with 8 rays was made to shine like paradise. But what they are spreading here is again the dimension 7 with its letters. Here, look to the left and down. I, Y, I are the letters with the degree 9, 7, 9 from the Latin alphabet. With the dimensions of energy, hell and again energy, they tried to code something strong, again from the sum of 7. At this point I would like to say something about the shape of the Y. The Yi of the Jew. This letter, which they placed in dimension 7, was also designed accordingly. It is the splitting of the Aleph, the first letter of Aleph from Arabic. And it also has the characteristics of the two horns of the animal they worship. Here too, 7 stars. We can see the principle of dimensioning very clearly in this graphic. The 4 coded stars and the crescent moon only serve to carry and spread the main information through the natural spreading behavior of dimension 4. The main information contains the cursed 3 letters of Latin. Y, P, G. Just from the party name in relation to its abbreviation you can see that they deliberately put it together like this. Otherwise it would never have come to such a result. The Y, from dimension 7 in Latin, in the form of a bird with the blue of the Jews. We don't even need to calculate the coded curse on this. If you look more closely we can see everything clearly. What we see here is all the power of these untruths. He has no more power, this devil with his Satans. In the name of the Jews, he had this work immortalized, from the sum of the digits 6, with 24 white dots on the blue of the Jews. 7 grains on the right, 7 on the left, and 7 rings as a crescent. The star of the Turk was enclosed in it. This one from the dimension 5 of human. The pyramid of the Jewish pharaohs, on the star of the Turks, and then with the appropriate name, the upheaval movement. 16 stars in blue. The 8 stars in red were deliberately placed below, to lower the dimension 8 from the heavenly planes. Coded with the 7 from the dimension of hell. Coded with the 16. Coded for the color blue of the Jews. Here the Jew shows himself with all his symbols. Blue background. 42 wreath leaves. 16 starring. You can even see the 6th star of the Jew in the middle. And also the black book of their devils. From this their rabbis are reading. Look, everything revolves around their knowledge. They have knowledge of the dimensions. As representatives for their parties, they even use Muslims with beards. They are supposed to give the impression that they belong to the religious. 16 rays. 7 stars. 6 of them are yellow. Coded with 16. To shoot the Turk's star away like a dart. At this point I would like to say something about the publication times. These 5 had their parties published in the same month, in the month of the 9th. They do this because they also want to use the blessing in the cycle of time, as the parallel to the 9th month in the calendar of the lunar phases. This is the month of Ramadan, which all Muslims strive for. In this month, Allah began to reveal the Quran to his last prophet. Always after the completion of this holy month, the blessings that the servants of Allah receive for the sincerity of their worship are determined. The knowledge of the 9 dimensions is completely united in Islam, in the true religion. Let us continue with the destruction of the untruths. Coded with 16, and the blue of the Jew. Also coded with 16, he also raised 7 stars above the other 9, and placed Turkey in the middle. On this emblem you can see a ring of 23 stars, with a sum of 5. However, the Jew had this divided into 7 and 16 stars in color. From this you can see that he is against the dimension 5 of human. The book in the center is this one with its black intention. If we reflect this image in its colors, we get the color tone of their interests. The start date of this party is only used to advertise because its sum of the digits is the dimension 7 of hell. The wingtips are exactly this number. 2 heads fell on the untruths, because they can use it to put truth and untruth on the same level. And they like to turn the star from the dimension 5 of human to its tips, to symbolize the 2 horns of the animal they worship. Here is another image of its parallels. By the hand of the Jew, this turkey was painted blue and raised. They have written the 3 cursed letters from their alphabet again. Here too they have used a date to advertise their 6. This date does not coincide with its publication. The publication date is the 27th of the blessed 9th. Turkey Wake Up is what this party calls itself. It has raised 7 stars and had 6 of them positioned underneath. 6 white leaves can also be seen. 7 blue sun rays, 4 water stripes, surrounded by 2 by 61 leaves in total. We have to parallelize this coat of arms. This way we can better realize its meaning. With 7 people, is advertised as a strong party of the Turks. One of their penultimate emblems. In this one they have let their white square flower blossom, from a blue plant with 6 corners and edges, from a reddish ground with 6 symbols. The white flower is only meant to deceive in public. Secretly their work for the black. Judging by the party name, they are congratulating their misfortune with it. And this is the party they last published. Exactly 1 month before I started producing this video. The strange thing about this party is its name. Last party. I'm not joking. This one also has the Jewish colors and dimensional features like the others. This one also looks like it's about to explode. What do you want to announce with this last party? Are you trying to plunge Turkey into chaos? Like the coup attempt on July 15, 2016? Look, even on this date, the messages can be seen. You've now seen. The devil let them go to ruin. That happens to those who twist the truth.